Made a little ball. Welcome to Scoping Out Tools, and I am going to be just trying to do my first bowl. And this is us starting with the parting tool. So one of the first mistakes that I've made on this bowl is that I have not measured the size of my chuck. So for my grips, I probably should have measured how much I needed to actually clasp onto. So in both in depth, but also in diameter, and the diameter is the major one. I really, especially when it came to spindles, I really need to learn how to actually basically measure a lot more. So this is really the very first time that I've turned it. I've got a few bowl gouges that I bought secondhand off Facebook, and so you'll probably see, if you are familiar with wood turning, it's my position of my gouge is probably not the correct way. I am sort of like eyeballing it. I've heard about that I should ride the bevel more. And so again, this was me just wanting to just quickly turn the bowl, just to get over the first hurdle of actually making it for the first time. Every so often I do need to actually adjust the pushing it, so that because every so often I would actually catch on it, which would stop it from moving. Luckily, there's no other problems with it other than it just stopped spinning, which is a good thing, because we don't want it to lose grips. That's why I'm obviously using this part on the treating it like a spindle, just a very big and larger diameter spindle. Now this is about 3-4 inches in the size, so I'm just rounding off the edge up at the top. Again, I'm just going by feel about the shape. I'm not doing any measurements, and I'm was just double checking it, and then realised that I wanted to do a little bit of sanding because I was happy enough with the shape. This is the cheapest of cheap, uh, like sandpaper that I actually buy just from a discount store. And I was just getting a very rough polish. I wasn't looking for this to be absolutely perfect because I knew it wasn't going to be like, it wouldn't come out as fantastic, but it come out as quite nice. So this is a chuck. This is the one that I actually got with the lathe, and I've realised that I opened it up and I realised that the diameter was too small. So instead of measuring it, I decided just to eyeball it again. Again, I should be making a little bit more planned cuts on it. So this time I think it does actually manage to get in, but I think only just. So this is me just making sure that it is actually centered in. So one of the jaws had came out, and I was happy enough with it. So popped out and reattached or attached it onto it. I used an Allen key to actually hold the bit in place. And when I spun it that time, I actually averted my eyes. It's a bit like when you open up a gas cylinder for the first time with a new regulator. You never be facing the regulator. You always face the other way while you do it, just in case anything explodes in it. So initially, my plan was to use the dead center to actually the dead center to uh, hold it in place, just so I had a bit more feeling of safety and stability. But I found that didn't work geometry wise. So then I used actually a drill. Obviously, that's from before. Used the drill to make a little hole to start with, and initially again I was aiming to drill to the complete depth. But I was in a rush, and I just sort of thought, right, I'm just gonna again eyeball it and just go with it. So this is probably the first time that I've actually went a complete freehand. I did do a mushroom actually, which was a bit more freehand on it, but Again, this is me not really knowing what I'm doing, but I have to say that ash was a very nice material to turn. The shavings came off. I can't remember if I did go back and sharpen the tool there, which I just sharpened the tool on a belt sander. There are better instruction videos on this. I just like commenting on what I'm seeing here. My technique is no technique at all, really. I've just sort of thought what actually feels, I'm going to say, right. So then I decided to use the square scraper at this point. So a quick sharpen on the belt grinder or belt sander, and then again, all I could remember when people said about using this was to do this at a downward angle. And so I was above centre, so I was happy enough for that to go around, and also that there should be a little bit of a burr. And yeah, so I was fairly happy with how that was working, but I could probably have done with getting more material lost and also paying attention to what direction everything is. So then I just rounded off the edge of it because I think it had caught a couple of the bits. Anyway, this was I think this took about an hour from like all the preparation and such like. So it was an end of the day because otherwise, if I hadn't done it that Sunday, I wouldn't have actually done it for a good couple of weekends. Look how the jaw disappears. And that is my first little bowl. So it is bowl shaped. It does have some tooling marks, but that's just because I'm this is the first time trying it. I'm sort of expecting it. I need to get it more sorted at the bottom. I'm not sure if that's enough dovetail to actually grip on it, but because it's quite small, I think it's all right. Oh, and I just noticed that when I've undone um, the clamp, the bottom bit fell off. So I think I need to actually make this a little bit smaller at the bottom. I do need to put oil on it, wax on it. I might remount it to do that, but that's another time. So thank you very much for watching that. I might. This is small enough that I could actually put this under the microscope and have a little look at different areas of it. But that's another day. Bye for now.